There's a lot of people that like I consider family, and I think about them daily. That's probably the thing I probably miss most, those guys, and then the food right behind it. But also just like the culture. Kind of was going back with like the with Vlor and just everybody being outside and being like walking up and down the streets. There was kind of like a lively feel about it, and I miss that a lot. I also miss the driving. It was definitely a different experience in America, you know, because in America we have like our set rules and our guidelines and everything about like, hey, when the light's green, you go, and the light's red, you stop. You know, in America, you don't really like honk the horn as much because like the person in front of you is gonna probably get offended. But in Albania, I mean, you just gotta like drive around. You gotta like make your way around people, and you can honk your horn all day to people. And I missed that. I was kind of a bad driver when I got back though in America. My family kind of realized it too. I'd be like driving, I'd be turning, and they'd be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh wait, okay." I kind of miss like the beauty of the geography of the country. I miss the people. I really miss people. I like it was a different culture, and it's kind of hard to describe, but like it was just. They were just some of like the most nice, loving people, and like some of the culture things would be a little frustrating because you're not really used to it, like as an American. But like I think about just being able to be around those people again. Oh, the food. Yeah, I can go on and on about the food, but like I was saying, so I had some friends who came down from BYU, Idaho, and they made us some traditional Albanian dishes. And we had like stuffed peppers, and we had like this thing called tafkosi, which is just like meat, rice, and like it's gonna sound disgusting, but it's just like plain yogurt, and you bake it all together, and it tastes so good. But we had stuff. It was called burek, and it's like thin like layers of like I don't want to say like bread, but like basically bread. And then they put like stuff in the middle, like meat, onions, tomatoes, whatever you really wanted inside. And then like, so we had some of that, and that was really good. My favorite thing though was probably the souflace. That was a blessing and a curse at the same time. Blessing because it tasted so great. Curse because it was so cheap. We went every day pretty much to go eat one. It's kind of like their hamburger, but you get like pita bread, and then you get like stuff called like sauce kosi, which is kind of like sour cream, but I personally hate sour cream, but I love that stuff. But it's the closest thing we can describe to you. You put like meat, and you can put french fries, and sometimes people like different stuff like onions or like tomato or stuff like that, and then you put like ketchup and mustard on that thing, and my mouth's getting watered out thinking about it right now. So Vlor is where I started off my mission. In Albania, they would say "Unyam Vlor Njat," which just means like you're from Vlor. It's kind of like if you're to say like if you're a Texan. But no, it's right by the Adriatic Sea. It's just like a little tucked away and everything, and I love the ocean, and so like it was really a fun place to start out for me. I was there kind of during the summer, and so it's kind of like the touristic place. Everybody wants to go there like during the summer and go to the beach and just hang out. So in like a lot of ways, like it would be a party town. Like during the summer, you'd have like a lot of music playing at night. The coolest thing about it is so Albanians, they have like this tradition where they like to walk up and down like the main road. They call it a gyro. And like it's their pastime. They just walk up and down this road with their friends and all that stuff. Also, you got to meet a lot of people from different countries. I talked to a couple from Ireland one time, whose best friend was a branch president up in Ireland, and we actually had a pretty good discussion about that. But it was just the opportunity to meet people like that. I remember specifically the first night I was there, we were going to go talk to this family. It was raining, and we're walking down. It was like this, it's a very historic road, and it's just made out of white stone. And we like walked back to this alley through this road, and I remember as we're walking through the rain at night, I hear like the Muslim call, because there's like the mosque that was like really close by, and every building's made out of concrete, so that sound was just like bouncing off everything. And I remember thinking to myself like, yep, I'm in Europe. This is Europe. This is everything like I saw in the movies and everything. But as far as itself, I mean, it's a pretty lively city. It's one of the bigger cities. Yeah, people are always out on this side and everything. They have like a main boulevard that goes up the middle. I think if you look up Vlor on like Google Images, you'll see they'll pull up like the main boulevard. Every city has a boulevard, but they have like a big roundabout in the middle, and that's where we lived by. Yeah, the people themselves, they're I remember the Vlorniats. They were some fun people. The language out down there is the more south you go in Albania, the cleaner the language is going to be, and the more north, the dirtier it's going to be, as far as like dialect goes. And so Albanians, in the Vlor, they speak really fast, and they speak really clean. One of my favorite things about Vlor though was there's a castle that's about an hour and a half south of it, and it's Porto Palermo. It was probably my favorite castle in the country because it's just like isolated, like on kind of like a little island by the ocean. It's one of the there's a few castles in Albania that are actually like complete castles, meaning that there's not really anything like torn down from them. But that was one of my favorite castles just because of like what's around it. Yeah, Vlor is one of my favorite areas probably. So Elbasan, as far as like scenery, is the exact opposite of Vlor. It's like tucked away in the mountains. But so if you love the mountains and everything, you're gonna Elbasan was a really good city. It's a little more compact. It has some of the best food. They're a little more chill people, I would say, because it is tucked away in the mountains, and they're really, really easygoing. So in the middle of the city, there's a giant castle, and there's a boulevard, kind of I was talking about earlier, but it was kind of around the winter time that like winds would come through, and like it would just channel right through that boulevard. So you'd be sitting out there without street contact and talking to people, and this huge windstorm would go. And Albanians themselves are really, really friendly people. So like you can just like go talk to people and they'll just talk your ear off from that point. One of the things I was amazed about was the amount of like their like little bars. So kind of like how in Utah right now we have like Swig and Sodalicious. It's like their version of that. They don't do like flavored drinks obviously, but they'll do like where people go drink coffee or they have like a little soda or something like that. And these things are everywhere. The flea markets, the tregs, those were really, really cool. I was kind of watching this show the other day, and someone was at like a little it was kind of like a farmer's market, and it kind of reminded me of like all like the opportunity to be able to go out there and be like, okay, I want like all these carrots or these potatoes, and they were just right from the farm. And so that was probably like one of the healthiest times when I was eating on my mission in a lot of ways, because of like just the freshness of the food, and everything was right off the vine pretty much. I remember when I got my mission call, I looked up hello on Google Translator, and you saw this really big long word, and it kind of was just like, whoa, what is that? And it's just Persian Detia. So there you go, there's hello for you. You can also just say Chkemi, which is just like hi. Another one is Si Yeni, which is how are you? Mir, good. If you know Mir, you know you can speak like 90% Albanian conversation. So thank you. Faleminderit. You would say you're welcome. You can kind of like the proper way would be like skaperse, but another way is just to say skaja, and that's kind of like the more used way is just saying skaja. As far as like tips with speaking Albanian, I noticed that what a lot of missionaries do is they like to close their mouth like this when they speak Albanian. Open your mouth. You gotta be able to enunciate a lot of things, because there's a lot of like different words and like syllables that can sound the same, so you have to be able to enunciate, and that just means opening up your mouth. And like that's a problem that I see. You can say like no problem at all. You say ska problem. That's like the right way Albanian, and a lot of people will say like, oh, ska problem. And so that was the one that kind of like bugged me.